Well everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra and see how the specific phone holds up in 2023. Now, I will tell you I've already done a review of this thing, but the middle part of this year, things do change. And with this type of phone, not a lot has changed too much, at least on the software side. We've gotten new Samsung phones. We got the new S23 Ultra. So we got the successor of this thing, which I think is pretty awesome, and that's a really good phone. But with the S21 Ultra, I'm a big fan of this device too, and it's still a very beautiful, great phone that you should probably consider picking up. Now with this phone on the front, 6.8-inch dynamic AMOLED display. It looks great, it's 1440p. I've said since day one that this was a very good looking phone, and this is still no exception. It's still easily one of the best looking phones that came out of that year, and even now it's still a very good looking phone. You're getting a USB Type-C port on the bottom, which is amazing, and on the back you're getting a frosted glass back on this thing, which is also very, very nice. So personally for me, with this type of phone, you're getting not only an excellent build quality, but you're getting a device that is honestly looking very good. And even for a phone that's over 2 years old as of this point, it still looks beautiful. And I don't even see how in the next 5 years this phone could look ugly. Like I look at phones like even like the Galaxy S10 that came out in 2019, that phone's about 5 years old now, or 4 years old. Even that phone looks so beautiful. So I personally look at a phone like the S21 Ultra. I'm a big fan of it. I think, Samsung did a great job, and especially on that camera side of things. Like this thing on the back of there has pretty much a quadruple camera setup. It has a wide periscope telephoto, and then an ultra-wide camera. And this is a very solid lens. It has 8K video on the back, 4K at 60 on the front. And definitely for me, like I mentioned before, Samsung knocked it out of the park with this type of device. I think it looks beautiful, and I still think it holds up very, very well. Like I do think in this day and age, Samsung just, has done such a good job, and I'm such a huge fan of this type of device, which is beautiful. Now, I would say if you're trying to get the best camera, of course, the S22 Ultra, S23 Ultra is probably going to get you that, but this one is not that far off, and I think Samsung really did a really good job with this type of device, which was amazing. So, in terms of the camera, that covers it up there. But in terms of the overall software experience, we're probably going to be getting one more version of Android from this thing, and then that's it. And that's kind of a sad thing. Like when you're getting a phone like the S23 Ultra, you're getting a phone that's going to be supported for a long period of time. The S22 Ultra still has a couple software updates, but the S21 Ultra, you're kind of stuck in this weird phase where it's like, it's not really going to be supported for like an insane amount of time. So that can kind of be an issue. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but it is one of those minor things to keep in mind. And that's just something that I kind of have to keep in mind too when I'm getting a phone like this. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. In terms of performance, this device has that Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 chipset inside with 12 gigabytes of RAM, but it goes all the way up to 16 gigs of RAM. And as I mentioned before, I think this is a very, very good performing phone. I think that 888 chipset was very decent, and even now it's still a very decent chipset, and that's something that's amazing. So of course with 12 to 16 gigabytes of RAM, that's an insane number to have. And I will still say with phones like the S23 Ultra, you're going to have the same amount of RAM for the most part, but I still like the S21 Ultra's performance, and I think it's very good. And to be honest, I think the S21 Ultra is still a very, very good phone overall to pretty much buy. I think Samsung, like I mentioned before, knocked it out of the park with this device, and I think they did such an excellent job, and it made me so happy when they made this phone. It's not perfect, it may not be the most perfect phone in the world, but I think it's definitely worth buying still, kind of, if you're willing to use a phone for like the next 2-3 years. But if you're trying to get a phone that's going to last you 3+ years, you might want to pick up the S22 Ultra or the S23 Ultra, to be honest. So that pretty much covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.